Welcome to our very, very first episode on the Bridging Rainbows podcast. As I had already introduced it on our TikTok live now for the cameras, I am joined in the studio today, and yes, we are having this episode in our Kuchu Time studios. Yeah. And joining me today is the amazing Ophelia Kemijisa.
Hi.
I can't even do them justice by trying to even introduce them. I cannot. We all know who this, most of us know who this amazing individual is, but they'll take a moment to tell us a little bit about themselves before we start. Then I'm also joined on the live by King Boss Taka and Shira, who will also be chiming in on the conversation. So if Taka and Shira could just say something in the comment section for the people that are joining the live, that would be amazing. My name is Kirsten, and I'm here with
Ophelia.
And also, I promised them you're going to say something about yourself.
I bet you didn't say. So what do you want to know about me?
And I know it's a lot.
Okay, let me just give you the headlines. My name is Ophelia. I'm a human rights lawyer. I'm a feminist, and I like to talk a lot. It's one of my favorite activities, and it's really good to be here. Fancy studio, I like it. Very cool.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I had also asked if Natenda was on the live. Shira, if you could say something to the audience, just say hi, introduce yourself. So while Natenda gets ready, I'd like to start this conversation off by asking you, Ophelia. I kind of feel like I was so scared to have this conversation with anyone, a conversation on grief. And then when I had to have it with you, even more fearful, because you and I, it's jokes all the time. But I seriously would like to ask, when you hear the word grief, what's the first image or the first thought that comes to your mind?
Well, I mean, I think it's actually a good thing that it's us having this question because of the jokes, because I think grief is also like it's a difficult experience, but it's like all difficult experiences, it's complicated. It's sadness, yes, most of the time, but it's also joy, it's gratitude, it's a situation in which you're forced to like look at yourself more seriously, to take your everyday life more seriously, because you realize, oh my God, the time is so short. I could be good at any time. Mm-hmm. So I think when I think about grief, I think about like a time of, it's like a fire. I think the image that comes to my mind is the image of a fire. Like you go through like a tough time, but you can come out on the other side better. Mm. But yeah, I think it's a time of change, and it's a portal, I think, that can lead you to like really interesting places, can lead you to very dark places, can also lead you to like really interesting places.
Amazing. And like I said, the podcast is very nuanced. Just like that, you got a science fun fact. Gold fire, diamonds pressure. Don't forget, in case you need that information. I think I kind of felt like I didn't want to ask Taka the same question, but because you've talked about going through your feelings, I think I'd also like to get Taka's perspective on this because, again, community. Do we have permission to do that? To go through our feelings? Is it okay for us to go? Do we even know how to do it? How many of us even choose to just shy away from the idea of feeling our feelings because of how quickly many of us even get forgotten? Taka could also just give me a brief, if you could also just give me a brief explanation on what image comes to your mind when you think of grief, or what are the first words you think about when you think of grief?
In my life, I've had two major experiences of grieving people that I really cared for and loved. And in this, I would say grief has been an emotional, physical, and mental response that came in waves. One day you feel sad, anger, guilt. Another day you just numb. Then the following day you're longing for these people, these human beings. And then sometimes it's mental, constant memories coming around, arising, questions of what if I did this? What if I shouldn't have? What if I didn't do this? Would they be around? Changes in sleep. You can't sleep. Sometimes you really want to sleep too long. So physically, it also takes a toll on you. And then every day, presence shows up in your mind, in your existence, and you're wondering. So, in short, I would say grief comes around like this. One day you're calm, convincing yourself that it's all fine, you can move on, this is what they want of you. And then another day you're very down. A song, a smell, a place brings you back to the memories of them.
Oh wow, thank you, Taka. Is Shira on? Have they unmuted? Because I'd also wanted to hear from Shira.
Hi,
Hi, how are you, Shira? How are you doing?
hi, KTM. I am fine
All right.
and I'm very excited. Much as we are going to talk about Greece. Today I called Size Young and I told her, why are you not inviting me for to come back? She's like, why are you crying? I'm like, we're going to Congo Baga anyway. That is just for fun. When I hear the word Greece to me, most recently the fact that I had appreciation over someone that we just lost suddenly, and we were very close, spiritually, soul wise. So to me, what comes to mind is it's love that no longer has a home. I repeat, love that no longer has a home, because there I knew that I love someone, and I knew wherever, even if we don't talk for a week or two, I know they're there and I love them. Whichever time we meet, we rekindle and all that. And then that person goes. So I'm looking for where to put that love and all those memories, and you know, and it's just that you just, when it comes to grieving for a dead person, you just can't say I'm replacing, I'm doing this. So it pains that you don't know where to channel that love. And then also, the second thing that comes to my mind is it's the cost of loving someone. It's that depth. If at all, when you meet someone who you're not related, you don't have memories, sometimes you can never understand what it means to grieve. So it goes around love, having no home, and the cost of loving that person we've lost. Yeah, thank you so much.
Would you like to introduce yourself to our amazing 3,000 people? We are 3K, guys. Um, when she was speaking, she said something about it being love that you no longer know where to put anymore. And now I want to ask, do you, as someone who has worked with community, but then also have your own social life, have your own experiences, but also has been around community for so long, and not just community in Uganda, do you think that there's enough space for us to have a conversation on grief as a community? And if not, why do you think that?
I don't think that there's enough space in the world to grieve for anybody, especially for marginalized folks, because we are placed in a world where we are forced to keep going. So the ethos of our time, unfortunately, because of like structural reasons, because all of us have to work to eat, because all of us have to show up to be able to survive, is that we are forced to move on. And so the structures are set up in such a way that we don't grieve. Like, do you ever think about the fact that in 2020 we lost like tens of thousands of people all over the world, and all of us like saw this happening in real time and like on our online platforms, and we didn't really stop. Like, no one really stopped to say like, this is really sad, we've lost so many people. And people who had lost their people during that time had this experience where they were not able to like be together at all because of like the physical constraints, but also they could not like spend a lot of time off work because there wasn't a lot of work in the first place. So if you're lucky to have work, you're forced to kind of go back. And this kind of like indigenous cultures that we have of like spending long periods completely disconnected from other people, you know, being able to like spend more time like within the family unit and like talk about the person and talk about what you miss about them. Like that space is taken up by like the hustle of our everyday lives. So I think that for marginalized people, it's even, I guess, worse, because I imagine if I was maybe richer, I could just take the year and go to Spain and, lie in the mountains and think about my person. But for marginalized people, we really have to keep going. Like, we really have to like get up and wake up the next day and plan the funeral. And then after that, we have to like, maybe take a few days off if you're lucky, if you work places like that. And then you have to get up and keep going. And I think that the reason for that is that we are being pushed to like this, to become these disembodied people who are like disconnected from our feelings, so that we can achieve the things that like our capitalist society wants from us, and like make money for other people. Most of the time we're making money for other people, not for ourselves. So all that is said, that the space is little, and it's both like, like familial, societal issues, like you can't grieve your gay partner because who knows them, like you've never introduced them to anyone. So like the societal things of you can't really explain to your parents, like, I lost my friend and she was a lesbian. Like, those are questions you can't have necessarily because of the societal piece. But also the structural piece of like, there isn't enough space because you have to go, you have to start, you have to get up and like achieve another thing and show up the next day. So I think grief is like an emotion that's almost frowned upon in our societies. I think it's supposed to like go through quickly, and now they even put for us stages of acceptance and denial and whatever. So like you get through that, and then you get up. Sorry, but you get through it, and then you get up and keep going. And people are not allowed to be messy and broken after like 3-4 years. They're like, "Girl, come on!" Like, everyone dies. Like, get over it. But it's complicated because we like,
outside of even being just a queer person, we always know that one relative nga wakafeel wakati they are calling you for directions. Like, we are not, it is true, we are really not allowed to grieve. That one relative, the very minute someone dies, they're already calling you for directions. So I do feel that, and it's from that question that I would like to ask Taka. Taka, I know there's been a time when, again, like Ophelia mentioned, sometimes a gay person will lose a lover, and then the way you're crying, people are like, why are you crying like that? But I know there's been a time where you've lost someone and you've not really had a way to even explain what that loss was. If, say, for instance, you could find the words to explain that emotion, to explain that feeling, what would those words be? What does that usually feel like? What is the most human way you can explain it?
I feel like you've come to be like you know intentionally saying this because you know it has happened. It's very tricky to explain that kind of relationship and the loss. Mostly to people who have been in the closet, and also even if you're out of the closet and you know that the family, what kind of standard are we upholding for the family? You know the standard things that you look upon in this life, where constantly we are looking over our shoulder. You understand? So, like I'm saying, from here, which is from a lived reality. You are the video and you're shaken of, if I break down now, if I really show my real feelings right now, because you're hurting and really you need that place where you can speak about what really is going in your mind, what you're feeling, and all that. But you can't do it because you're also upholding the fact that you want to keep the space safe and without causing any commotion to anyone, that all the people who have come can live safe. So if you're to ask how does it feel and how can you explain to someone that you've lost a lover, you've lost a friend of our community, it's really tricky. It depends on how you hold your people. If it's for me to my parents, I will tell you my last experience. I told them, you know, my friend I lived with for 4 years passed on. I didn't say anything further than that. To my brothers, who I understand that they are very conservative, I responded to them, oh, I lost a friend. So that's it for me.
All right. Thank you, Taka. We are nearing the end of this very, very heavy episode, and I hope it's getting the thing we intended for it to do done. But also, I think I want to come back to your failure. Again, here you are at home, you've lost a lover, no one knows about it. No appetite. You've lost a lover. Like it can be a funny thing, and we joke about it very, very often. But I think my producer puts it best. We usually share these people with many other people. And as much as we would like, it's community. This is our person. This is a person who, more than anything, of all of the different ways we exist, within community is the place we can bear and just be, right? But then still we share these individuals with other individuals. Do you think that maybe sometimes in the passion and in the depths of our grief, we kind of forget that and then kind of become nuisances at maybe funerals or places where we have gathered to mourn a loved one, where there are people within that person's life that are, let's be honest, homophobic. Do you think there's a middle ground we can get to where we can come together moving forward? Because we are still dying. No one is going to make it out of here alive. That's the truth of the matter. No.
Well, that's dark.
No one is. And we still are going to need to show up for each other. Do you think there is a way we can do that? And it doesn't become a whole other, I have tea for you, if you have a day. Like, can we move forward with our people's memories in a way that allows us to remember them in a great light, but then also allow us to, anytime we want, to come together with everybody that loved them and mourn them?
What a complicated question.
Yeah, but it did make sense.
Yeah, but it's a complicated question. I think first of all, the break happens before the person dies. So the break happened already, right? The reason that we are having this disagreement is because this person has already been alienated from their people, the first people who loved them. And if all of us who love them in, I guess, in very similar ways, then it would be easier for us to jointly mourn them. But the problem is that most of the time, the people who raised them didn't necessarily love them. And I think that there is a place for the people who loved them, who actually spent their days and evenings with them, to also be for lack of a better word, stakeholders in the process. So it would be really strange and unfair for us to suddenly cede control of a person who in their life tried their best to remove themselves from a specific group of people, to cede control to them just because of biology. I think that's not fair. Having said that, I think that there are things that we can start doing to ease that for our people. It's never too early to write a will. I'm so sorry to say that, but it's never too early to write a will. It's never too early to leave instructions with people on how you would like to be handled when you pass. And I think that the families also have to have the grace to allow the people who love them differently. When someone who, I've been to a funeral of someone who was young, right? And yeah, you could go to a funeral and be like, oh my God, young people are so loud and they're drinking, whatever, right? Of course, there's going to be an auntie who's going to complain about that, but it doesn't make sense to throw them out. You understand? Because they're young people. That's what they're going to do. They're going to come and drink. So there has to be some balance between the person that you thought they were and the person that they actually were in real life, and allowing the people who love them in that way to be in that space. But all that is to say that the break it's a bigger break. Like we have to heal that societal thing in the first place for us to be able to have these like joint, loving funerals where everybody is on the same page and we're all like crying for the same person in the same way.
No, a friend of mine has assigned me the role of singing their favorite song 3 times at their funeral.
Good.
Yeah. I don't know what consideration looks like there, but then what do they care? Apparently, they'll be dead apparently at that point. But anyway, I'll sing for you. So I think my last question, my very, very last question for this episode, and thank you very much for being here, Ophelia. I think Taka then could help me out with this. This is going to be my very, very last one. Do you think that there's more that could be done to help cement, or I think this is coming from a lot of times when a death happens within within community. It's apart from a day when there is a memorial, or apart from a specific day when we are sending out hashtags. It kind of feels like people do get forgotten very, very easily. Their memory just goes like that. Do you think that there's anything that can be done for us to make sure that the people that our dearly departed are not forgotten, and then we can always remember them beyond memory?
I will not say that my word could be final or the perfect answer, but let everyone understand the perfect answer for themselves and figure out the best way to commemorate beloved people or community members. That noted, I would say, 1, let's stop being performative. Second, grief is a strange thing. No one knows how each individual wants to grieve their people. The way I want to grieve my people may be different from the way the entire community wants others or wants me to grieve a certain human we share with. Also, the safe spaces that we create for grief may not be safe for everyone, because I might understand that specific person in a different way, and I know that with the existential external factors, I can't show out what really was aspiring. It's like an example of what I witnessed of the past goner. I realized that when people were trying to shut down someone, we had to just understand that these people are grieving and they had the right to, because we didn't understand the relationship they had with this person. So let's respect everyone's kind of grieving. And also, the best positive thing I would say, like we've lost very many people, let's have just a commemoration of remembrance. I applaud this convening. Thank you very much for creating such a safe space for us to talk about the goners or the transitions human beings in safe places right now. You really did good, and it's really a positive impact. We are remembering their work, we are remembering their memories, and it's really a good thing to do. I believe that everyone is humbled in their transition spaces, and they are shining bright like they should be, and chasing or riding sunsets.
Right.
That's what I can say.
Well, thank you very much, Taka. Thank you. And so I'd like to thank everybody that has been on the live with me today, my studio audience, my studio guest, who first of all I didn't even have to beg for Ophelia to be here. Oh my God, thank you so much. And honestly, they knew what topic we were discussing. So like they came here and did not know. But Also, thanks to my amazing producer, thanks to the person behind the camera. I have a full team here. This episode comes exactly a month after the passing of our dearly beloved Joanna Meke Woju. And I think the inspiration behind this episode came from that, but also, again, an opportunity for us to have a real discussion on grief, because this wasn't the first time someone died that abruptly and that suddenly in a way that shocked all of us. I hope this conversation becomes an avenue for us to just okay ourselves, to feel our feelings. And grief cannot be just the death of somebody. Many of us go through different stages in life. It could be loss of employment, loss of the families that we lose when we speak our truth, when we come out as who we really are. And I hope this conversation allows you to feel all those feelings, because they are part of you and they will shape you. Promise to catch me again next week on Wednesday, and we'll be together. We are going to have Ravers in the building. Ravers will be here. Ethical non-monogamy, polyamory, gaslighter, mwena wikeja, turiaha. Thank you for being a part of the show today, and have a great afternoon. Bye-bye.